one thing that people like to talk about a lot for Wizard101 is the graphics and how they feel like some of the graphics, at least the graphics earlier in the game, look a little outdated and they wish that they could update them. And I wish they could update them too. But if you think about it, later worlds, I mean not all the worlds, but later worlds, at least with the spells and all of that kind of thing, definitely has been updated in terms of what the graphics look like. I mean, maybe not completely, but they definitely look better than what they did back when the game was first created. The reason I'm in Ravenwood is because this is one of the most iconic areas in the game, and it was probably one of the first areas they created in the game. So Ravenwood, I just wanted to look around to see what the textures of this area looks like, so we can kind of get a general idea, because this is what they created back in 2008, maybe even a little earlier than that when they were in beta, and before that, because that's when they created the game. So we're going to go into first person here and just kind of look around, because the easiest thing to see what the textures look like is on a plant or I guess a bush or something like that. And I mean, these you can definitely tell are a little bit like grainy. I mean, that's basically what it becomes when you look at textures. And Wizard isn't a game that's going to have insane textures like you see on a PS4 game or some of the newer PC games, like the open world games. I really wish they would update these plant beds, because these just look, I don't know, they don't even look like plants anymore. They look like just like mushed together. Like, are those supposed to be flowers? I mean, I don't know. This is something that I wish they would update. I mean, they don't have to update everything. They don't have to update every little pixel of, you know, every single different texture in the earlier places, because I mean, this lamp also, you can kind of tell that, yeah. But I mean, it's not like they're gonna update every single thing. I mean, they could, you know, update lamps a little bit, but it's just like, it would take a lot of time to go through all that and update every texture to make it look a little better, because this is something they created back when the game was first created. So overhauling the entire first parts of the world is something that they don't really need to do. I mean, would it really help the game at all? I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's something that, would you rather them continue to further the game and create like new worlds and all that stuff, rather than go back and redo this? I think that's something that they would have to use as a quality of life update, is just updating all that, but that seems like a really big quality of life update, and I don't know if it's something that they would do. So I just wanted to look quickly at Ravenwood, but the other place I wanted to check out was Avalon, because there is a cool comparison that I want to make from a picture that someone drew in Avalon of what Wizard could look like if they had realistic graphics, if it looked a little more updated. So here's Avalon. I mean, I still feel like the worlds in the game look nice, and they do look nice, but actually I need to go to the wild, not High Road. Alright, here's the area that I was talking about. It's the Toadstool Village, and an artist redid this area to look a lot better. So I will link the artist in the description. It's Scarx, if anyone follows him on Twitter. But this is what it looks like now. Just, you know, the regular Toadstool Village. And I'm going to put up on the screen what the updated look could look like. What the updated Toadstool Village could look like if they completely redid all the graphics. So that's what Toadstool Village could look like if it was updated a little bit. They even redid the ground, and they added the path as a stone path going through the village. So I just thought that was really cool and a nice reimagining of this area, because I don't know, I don't think Wizard would ever really do that and go through every single world, because that's a painstaking process that would take forever. But it is nice just to see what it could look like if they updated everything, because even though it's a lot of work, it still would look, you know, really nice to see that. They also have up a night version of the village there as well. You can see like the lantern is lit up. So I don't know, that it looks really nice. And if Wizard had day and night cycles, that would also add a lot of realism into the game. Just because, I mean, even in Wiz, I assume that there's, you know, day and night. I mean, we can't really tell. There is a night in certain worlds, but it's just like perpetual night. Like in Darkmoor, it's always dark out, and in Wizard City, it's always light out. So day and night cycles would also be something that they could add in. That would just, I don't know. It would be really cool if they could do the day and night cycles depending on your actual time on your computer, or just your time zone or something like that, and they could do that because I don't know, that would just add like a really cool element into the game. It wouldn't change anything, but it would just make it like more immersive with that. So I feel like that's a cool idea. And day and night cycles would be something that they could add in. They don't have to add it into every world. They could just add it into later worlds, just to make the world feel more like realistic with that. But I don't know if they would do it. Who knows? Scarix also has a picture of the Celestial Astrolabe, which you can see on the screen, and that's basically where you fill in the pieces as you go through Celestia in the storyline. So I thought it was a really neat picture as well. You gotta get the underwater effect with the diver. So that was a cool one too, just like an updated Celestial base camp, I guess. So that's that one. We also have the Toastu Village. So just a few pictures I wanted to show you guys of what it could look like. But the other topic I wanted to go into for this video is the commercials, because another big topic when you talk about graphics and Wiz is people comparing the game with the commercials that they originally put out, and they haven't put out a commercial like that in a while with like the cinematic, CGI, all that stuff. And the reason for that is they're pretty expensive to make, because that is completely like different modeling and animation than what they do with the actual game. Because when you see that, people like different companies, and I've seen this with other game companies, they create, or at least they hire someone else to create a commercial like that, which has way different animations than is actually in the game. Normally it doesn't reflect in-game footage, and the same is for a game I could compare it to is some of the Clash games. Like Clash Royale has commercials like that, which don't necessarily reflect in-game gameplay at all, but it just kind of draws you in with a really cool looking trailer, I guess. So that's basically what it is. I don't foresee Wizard ever having that kind of graphics. I don't really think it's possible to have that in the game, but it is cool just to see that and see like in some other future what it could look like if they had that, because I don't even know how they would do that, because that's just a huge overhaul of the entire game. One thing that we've seen though from more modern games is that they are able to incorporate the cutscene directly with the gameplay. So the line is kind of blurring there, but I don't see anything like that with Wizard. There's definitely still a big bold line between the commercials and the actual gameplay. So those commercials don't reflect gameplay. I don't know. People had huge discussions about why they put out these commercials when it doesn't look like the game, but we've seen that before, and it's just something to draw your attention in. And I think it looks really nice though. I think those commercials are really cool, and even though they're not necessarily exactly what you see in the game, but mobile games do that all the time now, and it's just something to attract viewers to want to play it just because they think the commercial looks nice. I mean, and that's probably why a lot of people played the game back in 2010 when they were probably running these commercials, or maybe even earlier, and you saw those commercials and you thought it would look really cool, and then you wanted to go play it. Is that really false advertising? Not really, because it does say that it's not actual gameplay. It's just something to kind of catch your attention. So that's what that was, and I think the commercials are still nice though. But of course those commercials are never going to actually be something that we see in the game. But I don't know, interesting things to think about. Is Wiz ever going to update the graphics? Probably. I don't know. I really don't think so on the early worlds. I really want them to, but I don't think it's really worth the time to go back and do that. Later worlds though, they continue to update things. They continue to get better at modeling and textures. So we will see that in later worlds, that they do continue to update everything, and the spells especially. The spells are the best thing that I can compare. If you were to go back and compare the spells for, say, one of them that really sticks out to me is, I don't think I have it on me, but the Fire Elf. If you compare Fire Elf to one of the newer spells, like if you compare Fire Elf to one of the new Shadow spells, such a big difference. Or even like Pigsy. Such a big difference there. Any of the spells that they created for the game back when the game first came out, those spells compared to the new ones now, big difference. So they are updating that, and I'm glad, because the spells look really good these days. But so there are little updates here and there in the game, and I'm glad that they're doing that. But of course, I don't know if they would ever do a quality of life update that is go back and redo everything. I mean, if anything, they did say that they might update the commons, which makes sense. I wish they would update the commons in Ravenwood. Those are my two. If they could do that, then I would be really happy, because Ravenwood deserves it. Ravenwood's such a cool area, and the commons is just, you know, an area that everyone goes into, so they might as well update that. But who knows what they're gonna do? But that's just a video. I wanted to share some stuff with you guys, talk about the wizard graphics and everything like that. But let me know what you guys think. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.